What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, as always, is the little brother Jayce. Bro Shot, what's up with you today?
Doing good, and the reason is basically what we're going to be talking about all show.
Well, you're perfectly themed up. We're going to talk about Superman. Oh,
They didn't have those shows. They didn't have the right shirt. Sorry.
gotcha.
My bad.
Let's talk about, as one man so eloquently said over the weekend, Kenobi. Obi Wan Kenobi. I feel like we were hyped up about this show from the trailer, from the announcement. We were like, "Oh, really? More Ewan McGregor? Yes, please and thank you." And we saw the trailer. Oh yeah, and Star Wars Celebration was this past weekend, and they had Thursday like a preview night, and then Friday was bam, Obi Wan Kenobi, so everybody can check it out. And before we get into Obi Wan Kenobi, I thought it was so cool watching Star Wars Celebration. Thank you for killing so much of my productive time during the weekend, watching YouTube over 4 days and just geeking out at people and listening to all these different panels and discussions of all things Star Wars. Very cool. One of my favorites was Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor on the stage getting the adulation and love that they did not get in 2002 and 2005 when Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith came out. It was this, it's not my Star Wars. But now it seems like people have come around. They appreciate these films. You and I are going to do a deep dive breakdown very soon on Attack of the Clones, just to keep it going here with all that love and all that good stuff. I thought it was funny. They were like, "Congratulations, Hayden and Ewan, on the 20th anniversary of your clash on Attack of the Clones." It's like, that's not true. Anyway, but it was so cool because they actually were so excited and hyped up to be there. And then "this is where the fun begins" line dropped. I was like, yes,
Do it for the memes.
right.
It was. I think one of the things I have always. You can go back to probably the first podcast. I've always repped that if you didn't like those movies, I don't know what you like about Star Wars. It's like, it's exactly the same with better, it just has, a new medium for CGI that everybody now uses. It's just like, George Lucas is like, I'm not going to wait 40 years to make this movie. I can make it now, and we can jazz it up with some special director's edition later on. But this is what I want to make this movie. And it's just like listening to all the panels when you're like, oh yeah, we were talking about this when they're doing the Attack of the Clone panel. It's like, hey, what was the first time you met Ewan McGregor? It's young Boba Fett.
Daniel Logan.
Like,
I knew that's who you're going to talk about. Yes.
Daniel Logan. He was like, man, I'm excited. Like, y'all didn't do this.
Yeah, he was so much fun too.
Oh, he was like, I am loving this. This is awesome. And then when you just did like you said, the Hayden and Chris and Ewan panel, that was like one of those like, yeah, y'all got kind of lucky to be hanging out in Anaheim on that one, because that would have been the one I would have gone to. That would have definitely been the one I would have gone to, because it was very much it's like Hayden is playing it very cool, but you can tell it's like he's like, thank y'all. Like, I was getting dogged for 20 damn years. And y'all said I sucked. If I just looked at the comments online, I was the worst human being ever. Never should have been touching a microphone or putting on Jedi robes. But coming here, it's like, again, everybody's excited to see me back as Darth Vader. Oh, okay, this is really cool. This is, now y'all have kind of figured out what we made these movies for. And you could tell he was like almost constrained. He's like, I really appreciate the love y'all are showing me, because I did not get this 10 years ago, and I'm just like, he was like, thank y'all. Like, I'm willing to come back because y'all really are happy to see me back. Like,
yeah. I thought it was funny during every panel. I would get distracted from people in the background. I wasn't sure if they were doing this on purpose or if they're just playing around, but they kept clashing their lightsabers. Like, that's funny. I wonder if I was there, if I would just randomly start with people with their lightsabers in there. I feel like the answer would be yeah.
I'm gonna say the brand answer is 100% yes. Because even those the Force FX lightsabers we have, you couldn't mess with those. But I think the ones at Galaxy Edge, those look a little more sturdy. And I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, how much y'all selling them boys for? Dark City, she say?
I'm gonna go with not enough. It's not going to deter me from actually having one.
Yeah,
It's like, well, it is what it is on that case. So, yeah, really cool seeing the panels. Got to see the Andor trailer. I like that. I just like the tone of it because this festering resentment toward the Empire, which is building to where things are when we get to Rogue One, where the rebellion is really taking form and taking shape. And Andor,
I liked it because another reason is because it's like that Andor trailer very much plays into Star Wars Rebels, and it really kind of is like we're in the same boat. It's like we're the guys ready to. All it's gonna take is these guys doing one more thing, and the rebellion's gonna go in full force.
Y'all got one more. It's a good time.
Yeah, and it looked like, I don't know if it was Cassian when he was a kid, like when they were kind of like this one ship crashes into their planet and it just starts the Empire from just, oh, we got another world to take over.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're helping a Jedi. Oh, we're gonna take this whole thing, and starts the resentment of. It's like, yeah, this is setting up a really. It looks like it's setting up, a really cool storyline. I like. Another fun thing is, Mon Mothma, who was literally cut out of Revenge of the Sith, but has played her, and this is going to be her third series time playing Mon Mothma, and I'm just like, wow, that was on a deleted scene, but it still carries over, like, and everybody's like,
so
yeah, you're really good.
It was Rogue One. What was the other one?
Revenge of the Sith, like the same actress.
Oh, okay, that's what you were saying. It's the third time. Okay.
Yeah, but everyone's like, hey, yeah, it was a really good scene. It should have been in. It's like, I don't think anyone who likes Revenge of the Sith, if you put all the deleted scenes in there, and you put in season 7 of Clone Wars, y'all want to put that like a 6-hour long cut? I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that.
As long as you include the animated cartoon version of Clone Wars as well. So you have that to start where Grievous is attacking Coruscant and then leading to the movie Revenge of the Sith, and then we start cutting it. But you know what I mean. I want that super cut.
Yeah.
The one that Lucasfilm and Disney will not authorize. The one that is definitely going to have to be a fan cut version of it.
Hey, honestly, as many videos as I've watched of YouTube, just like, hey, we happen to have this. I'm like, and you do, and I press play.
There will be a million strikes on everybody who puts that up. He won't be able to stay long. That's one you have to go to the conventions. Ooh, special edition cut? Yes.
So, how much y'all charging for that? 70? Yeah, that's a fair price.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Perfectly I will make it legal. But let's talk about maybe the big reveal. And I say big with super big air quotes because there's so much. But that Ahsoka trailer, let me say this much. I remain grateful to you and Dwayne, our occasional guest on the show, our cousin, for going, hey, after the first season of Mandalorian, stop what the heck you're doing. We're in a pandemic. Don't worry about anything else. Just watch Clone Wars. And then after that, watch Rebels. And I'm going to pat myself on the back for actually listening to you. Because... but... it just opened up so much in terms of like, oh wow, these animated shows are great, and not just okay, yeah, if I care about it, whatever. But they're so essential to the story. And now, seeing that Ahsoka trailer and seeing Hera there, and seeing the news that Chopper is going to be on the show, I was like, oh man, we got Sabine. She was there at Celebration too. And we see a very small glimpse of her. And we see that mural at the end of Rebels. And it's like, oh my gosh, y'all are going to go hard and go there.
that's the next part of her story. I mean, that truly is the next part of Ahsoka's story. It's like, and I'm gonna say me and Dwayne are gonna take credit for that because it was like you're in a pandemic, man. You got plenty of time. These are essential shows to watch, and I think anyone who like if you like it's Revenge of the Sith, it's like you owe it to yourself to watch those shows. And so I know you put up an essential Clone Wars shows to watch on LowsMovieFile.com. Like, but it is like you have to get to those, and then you go to Rebels, and you're like, oh, I love Snips is not the annoying Sky guy from that animated movie, which they were quick to say that's not the way to go. 3 episodes in, we're cutting that mess.
That's not the way.
And they did it. They course corrected perfectly. And she's now one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
And it's just like you get Rex, you get the 501st, you get what is it? Not Ghost Squad, but you get all. I mean,
Phoenix.
You get all those, huh?
Phoenix Squad.
Yeah, well, Phoenix. You get a whole lot, and I mean, the funny thing is like now you're gonna get the quest, the search for Ezra. But you probably know Thrawn's in there too, because they both went out at the same time, and that's why, like, when you get Mandalorian, you'd be like, "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?" You'd be like, "What? Who's this guy?" But if you watch Rebels, you're like, "I know he's gone, but is he? Wait a minute, is he actually running the show somewhere? Wait, that means Ezra's somewhere. Like, we're getting instead of the search for Spock, we're getting the search for Ezra, and I think that's going to be cooler for a Star Wars fan. So I'm 100% looking forward to that. I'm like, when's that? I'm not trying to. The fun thing is, I'm enjoying Kenobi, and I don't need to rush. I will enjoy this week by week, and I had to stop myself a little bit from pressing play after this last episode ended, not to just watch it again. That took a little bit of self-constraint.
That's fair.
I applaud myself.
I may have done that if I didn't start watching it at 4:05 this morning, and I think that is also a commendable thing to go. Okay, just stop. Let's just go upstairs. let's write the reviews since you're too hyped up, and then just call it a night. But yeah, so we can't talk about other people we would like to see on Ahsoka due to spoilers. But I still recommend, even though some things may be changed with Disney continuity, checking out Heir to the Empire, because Grand Admiral Thrawn is such a great character in that, and it's a truly great Star Wars story that with the advent of the CGI technology they're doing, I kind of would be on board with watching an entire movie with DH, Han, Luke, and Leia, and watching that in full-length feature form. It's so great.
If you want to do a deep fake on that, I 100% sign off on it.
I'm ready to be faked deep.
It's like, hey, you guys can put me in as a producer. I'll find that money. Don't worry.
All right, so now we set the stage. Obi Wan Kenobi, and I don't know. I don't want to speak for you on this, but for me, I really loved Ewan McGregor's Obi Wan. I thought he was so perfect. Maybe one of the best castings of a character after someone else played an iconic role. I could think about Robert De Niro doing Don Corleone. I'm blanking on other ones. I'm sure there are, but those are the ones that kind of stand out to me. And I just felt that Ewan McGregor did such a perfect job channeling what Alec Guinness did and making the character his own, making him fun. So as we see this continued evolution of the character from Phantom Menace through Revenge of the Sith to now his own series, it's like, wow, there's still so much of Obi-Wan Kenobi we don't know about. And this 20-year gap between Sith and A New Hope Star Wars is... I'm sorry, it's just...
It's ingrained in us as well.
Yeah, but it's just so cool seeing this and that Ewan's doing it, and it's like, this is working. Now, what's your quick overall thought on him coming back and doing the role all over again?
I'm glad they're 100%. they made the right call reaching out to him and not trying to get another actor to try and like, oh well, we need to age him up, look like we're aging him up a little more to get more towards that Alex Guinness. But you almost say like, if you're in a sun planet, most of your, that's gonna age you up. You're gonna age a little bit more than anybody else. I think they made, like I said, they made the right call getting him back, and the casting was spot on. And by George Lucas when he actually said, hey, yeah, you're the one who should do this, and you can do it justice. And Ewan being a great actor.
So are you saying that Ewan was the chosen one? Sorry.
Is it because of Kenobi? I don't know. But he definitely, it was like you can bring him. It's not, so it's obviously like Natalie Portman was great casting. Is Leia's mom, like you definitely could see how that was going to be that. Like, even though she's not going to be part of her life, you still get that kind of, there's some heredity in that. But Ewan was like, hey, I could possibly be here for the next 20 years, so at least I'm going to be in all three of these movies. And I think George made a great call. I mean, and now we are spoiled that he actually was like, because if I know, like before Celebration, it was you could definitely say it was excited, but you also heard like in all the other interviews, you could tell he was actually kind of emotional because he was letting the salt come out. He's like, I really liked those movies, and I was mad at people. We were getting so much hate from it, and I was I was about to just say peace out, but he's like, I decided to come back when they approached me. As much as we all give Kathleen Kennedy flat, for the fan fiction movies, she's the one who reached out like, hey, we really like you to do these. So you got to kind of, does that outweigh this fan fiction? Yeah. I mean, that's even, even on the positive side of it.
Listen, I'll give them the sequel trilogy all they want. Mine stops wherever those movies start. But everything before then is fair game, and it's been so great. I won't even hate on it. So I'm just like, hey man, I don't care. I don't even mind Omega in Bad Batch. Like, whatever, she's not for me. But man, Obi Wan Kenobi's so like, this is the Star Wars that I've wanted since the original trilogy, since the prequel trilogy. The Ewan McGregor I didn't know I needed as Obi Wan Kenobi, filling in those gaps, and it's like, oh wow, I'm watching maybe like 10 minutes in, and I'm just like, this is so cool. We get to see Obi Wan Kenobi before Luke does, before that hermit coming with the big pointy robe coming through, kind of stumbling through, looking old or whatever. Now we get to see him just slightly out of his prime, and he's not a Jedi. And we'll talk about this now because I guess it's the time to break it in. He is so traumatized from everything that happened from Revenge of the Sith. And I love that because I felt when you watch Revenge of the Sith, and if you kind of watch them in chronological order, which I don't recommend. I recommend watching Sith and then going straight to Return of the Jedi because it makes it seem not as terrible. But we have to revisit that because there's so much stuff in between now that it's just kind of hard anyway, and you should watch Rebels. But I like the fact that he's not, like, the show is filling in gaps to explain why he's sending Anakin's son to kill him and hiding truths from him and being very deceptive. The show is like, oh, we're going to explain why but you're my brother, Anakin. I love you too. Yeah, go take care of that dude. He's terrible. He killed your father. Go get him.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah, But it was, so we start with him and he's just totally broken. And he's just sitting on Tatooine, chopping that meat, as Javon would say, and not really doing much of anything. He's hanging out over ridges with the long range binoculars, making sure Luke's okay. But he is living his worst life. What did you think about where we start off with Obi-Wan in this show?
I've heard like some folks like complaining, he's a coward. It's like they lost. I mean, it's not even like this isn't like any war that actually exists in humanity. This is, I mean, like it's literally like you got conquered. There's like 5 or 10 of your kind left, and you don't even know where they are. You just said it's scatter time. Go to ground. We may never come back.
Yeah, they don't have a text thread to go, we're going to meet up at Coruscant in 5 years. Get ready.
Yeah, there's no Eternals like, hey, we'll catch you in another 3,000 years and see what happens. Like, this is literally like, we have lost. And we not only lost, we lost to evil. And we thought we were the good guys. And we are now vilified. My brother, who I thought was just going to be the hope and just, help us get to a new era of peace. He's literally, I had to kill him as far as I know. I had to kill my brother. And we still lost. Right. Like Yoda didn't beat the Emperor. The Empire is arriving, taking over new systems. I had to watch my brother. Not only did I kill him, I had to watch him burn. It's like
as he screamed, "I hate you."
Yeah, it's like, man, it's like I say I'm his brother, but I'm sure he also is like, I know I was also dang near Anakin's father. So it's like, this is real. Like, I had to do all this, and at the end of the day, my reward is cut that beat.
Yeah.
Like, it was very much showing that PTSD. It's like, yeah, I have to relive this. Like, as much as Anakin said he had nightmares, now I understood what he meant when he had to deal with his, because of your mother. Oh, I get it now. I'm not going out trying to take on the whole Empire. Like Han Solo said, you're going to take over the whole Empire by yourself? Like, nah, I'm not doing that. I got to try and survive.
Yeah, and I love when Nar, I think was his name, Nal, came through. Obi-Wan, what's up, dude? Let's do the thing. He's like, kid, if you don't beat it, we're both going to get killed. And he's like, nah, man, we can do the thing. And then he sees him strung up dead. And it's like, yep, you dumb kid, you. I tried to tell you, but that's the system we're living in right now. Like, that was harsh. A real stark glimpse of what the life is like for a Jedi. You either stay in hiding or you're dead.
You have literally the whole galaxy looking for you. It's like even like when they had the Inquisitor fight with Riva, and he saves the guy from getting back. It's like, you don't understand. This is not that kind of era anymore. It's not save the weak and show your power. It's wow. That sucks. There's a time and place, and it's not heroics. When there's 3 or 4 force wielding Inquisitors in the background, and they have stormtroopers also with them, and they were pretty effective after Order 66 and getting rid of y'all. So
yeah,
it's not the time.
So very, very interesting stuff there. So Vader sent out the Inquisitors to track down any remaining Jedi, and the Grand Inquisitor is the head honcho of this crew, and they're just running around looking for any Jedi to track. And Obi-Wan is like, yep, I'm number 1 on the hit list. I'm staying in deep seclusion so no one finds me. And he's like, yeah, I can't be bothered with anything. I have a job to do. If I don't do anything else, I have to make sure that this kid is trained in the ways of the Force. So maybe he can overthrow Vader and the Empire and the Emperor. And it's such a long-term game plan. It's not quick. It's not rewarding. There's nothing satisfying about this. He can't even leave a toy plane outside of Luke's spot before Uncle Owen comes through. Yo, stop coming around these parts. We don't want you no more.
Oh, did you actually peep that?
Oh, absolutely. Toy? Yeah.
I was like, oh man, it's so cool. It's like that was like, I was like, I know that toy, and that's like, you're like, go back to New Hope. That's literally the toy Luke is playing with.
19-year-old Luke is still playing around with.
Yeah, it's like, that was cool. But it for everybody, it's like, let's go with like our midichlorian. It's like, there's only one person probably, there's only probably 2 people who are strong enough in the Force naturally to even halfway take on a Vader and the Emperor. It's like, if we can keep both of them healthy, I mean, we can't train them in the ways of the Force, because if they do, the Emperor's going to sense them and kind of kill them. So we got to play a long enough game so they can get naturally strong. And then it's like, okay, it's time to break out, get trained, and go. Because we aren't going to have 3 or 4 attempts at the Emperor. We got one shot at it.
You only get one shot, like the great Eminem once said. So here's something interesting as you were talking that I was thinking. We know the Jedi aren't sexist. They have women on the Jedi Council. They had Jedi Masters who were women. But their first thought was not, hey, let's train Leia as well. Like, she is totally not on that plane. I'm thinking now, Yoda and Obi-Wan were, okay, we need to attack the Emperor on 2 different fronts. One with a Jedi, and that'll just be Luke, because he didn't have anything to lose. But if we have Bail Organa raise Leia as a senator, she can hit from one side, because this is the blind side that the Jedi never really saw coming from the Senate. And because they could fight a war, they could, be toe to toe on a war level. But it was really the Senate and the Emperor manipulating them that really cost them the war and turned the whole galaxy against them. So they have Leia working on this side to turn the tide of the Emperor of the Empire, and Luke fighting Vader and the Emperor on the other. The two come together, and then bam, we start a brand new Jedi Order, as opposed to let's just throw more Jedi. Let's throw 2 Jedi against it, which that definitely won't work.
Yeah, because I still said like that the Jedi were. I'm hoping they come up like your story sounds good, but I don't think they were thinking that smart. I mean, I think they got blindsided and didn't understand what happened, and they weren't playing that part of the long. I think maybe like as the story progresses, maybe Bail and Obi-Wan is like, hey, I need you. Maybe they'll come up with that storyline. It's just like, because your theory is like, hey, we can have this great warrior hero that the Emperor can look at, and Vader, like they'll be focused on them, and they won't be focused on Leia, who's also using the Force and very much like Palpatine, but for the light side. It's like, and maybe he doesn't peep that. Wait, that's Force sensitive Leia over there, because I mean, as we know, like Vader's in front of her all the time, and he doesn't figure out anything because he's just he's his mind, and it's like basically it's like, it's Kenobi, don't pay attention to anything else. I'm still Kenobi over here alive. But you don't sense that great threat that's right in your face.
I think in a lot of ways, Vader's just turned off at the notion that anyone he's around could be his kids. So he's not thinking anything. And since Leia probably hadn't used the Force at any one point in time, she's not channeling it, much like Hermit Obi-Wan, who struggled so much just to keep a character in the air. I guess if you're not using it, your Force starts to lose its impact.
It's the muscle,
Yeah, that muscle memory, right.
And but I think it very much is like, they're like, oh, okay, this is not something. But I'm not so much talking about him knowing it's not his kid, but he's not thinking there's anyone who truly can challenge. Vader's thinking there's no one in the galaxy strong enough to challenge him and the Emperor.
Right. Yeah, so eventually we see our other co-star of this show, Princess Leia. And I talk so often about so many shows. Hey, who cares about the adults? Let's focus on the cute kids or the cute teenagers. And I push back on that so hard almost every time, because I'm not here for the kids. I want to see the title character. Like with Flash, I don't want to see his adult daughter. Could care less. Superman and Lois, don't want to see the teens. Not here for the teenage boy drama. So good. And that's just how it is. Walking Dead was a little bit different because they didn't make Carl any different. Like, he wasn't acting like a goofball teen. He was just like a younger kid trying to survive. But this joint, I was actually into the little kids. Hey, there's Luke, and he's like piloting. That's so cute. But we really don't spend that much time on him. We focus more on Princess Leia and how she was always this, I don't need to stay here at the Senate. I don't care about all these meetings. I care about the people. Like, she cared about the droids. Why does your droid not talk? Why didn't she say thank you to the droid? I thought that was cool because it just shows you who she is as a person and kind of the Padme influence who had droids with her basically at all times. And, you know, she was tight with them. And then she has this adventuring spirit, just like Padme, who's like, yeah, you can stay here if you want, but I'm going to go find Obi-Wan. So I really, really like that because, you know, from most of the other stuff, we saw her as very prim and proper, like a, you know, government official. And this time we're getting a little bit of the curtain pulled down to show how Leia's shooting a stun blaster at or killing stormtroopers and then running off and doing all this wild stuff. That wasn't her first time picking up a blaster and doing stuff. She was very comfortable on the run doing her thing. And the girl that they have playing Princess Leia, oh my gosh. It's like little frozen mini Carrie Fisher there. It's great.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we do hate on the kid actors just because it's like, oh gosh, you're just obnoxious. But very much how they wrote young Leia, it was like, that is the kind of sass I would expect from a 10-year-old Leia.
Right.
Because she says exactly what she's thinking, but doesn't know how to moderate it at all.
Right.
It's like, I can read the hell out of you to shut you up. Just like a senator should be able to kind of play people like, I know how to shut you up. And go over there so I can go talk to the Moff if I need to. And she did that very well. Like, even talking to her cousin, to like, yeah, I'm going to read you right quick. You're going to go over there. But I'm also going to peace out and, you know, go on my adventurous run, but I'm going to tell you about yourself. And it was very cool. It was like, that would be what I would expect a young Leia to do. And it's like, just how she was saying stuff. I was like, hey, good job, kid.
Right. So then, of course, Leia's rebellious streak gets her in trouble. She gets kidnapped. And then Bail Organa calls one person to save his daughter, Princess Leia. And he calls up Obi Wan Kenobi, his old friend from the war. So this is not the first time that mission to Alderaan was not the first time that the Organas had called on old Obi Wan Kenobi. I like that because it really establishes the bond between Clone War survivors and allies, friends, etc. And then it kind of intensifies that whole, when Alderaan gets blown up, it's like, oh, so many people died. But my boy, one of my few friends, is also dead. It's crazy. I've lost everyone now. And it kind of, if you look at it deeper, it really explains why Obi-Wan literally gives up the Force ghost. Because, like, dude, I ain't got nothing left. Everything I care about is gone. And I can be a Force ghost and chill and do whatever.
Well, I found something interesting in. Wait, we'll talk about it later. I'm not going to spoil it. But it's very much like, because I have not watched New Hope in a second, but it's like, you almost want to parse that message that Leia gives to Ben a little. I mean, me, it's like, wait, Obi-Wan, you know, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. You're like, wait a minute, did he kind of hint? It's like, he hadn't asked for your help again. He's like, he's asking for your help again because he's like, I know that. Remember that time I asked you to get Leia? I kind of need your help a whole lot bigger this time. Like, after Rogue One, we really need your help because we got a chance now.
Yeah, it's open. Now, there was one thing that I thought was really interesting. I wish I'd written down the name or taken a screenshot, but somebody on Twitter posted that one thing I really love about Obi Wan Kenobi is it gives Leia some reason to call her son Ben beside the guy who mentored her brother that she didn't know. I'm like, okay, if you're into the sequel trilogy, that's a nice link and connection for you. So I thought that actually was pretty cool.
That is smart.
Yeah,
because it's like, it would not have made sense. I mean, that helps lay the foundation for that, because it's like, this isn't just Ben. Oh, that was his nickname for a guy I met for like 5 seconds.
Right. Who is this old dude? Yeah, I heard about him from my dad, but he didn't call him Ben, so I like that. So then Obi-Wan decides, all right, I'm going to do this thing. And I love that he doesn't really want to do it. He is very reluctant. I'm not the same dude I was 10 years ago. It's I think we get this whole deal where people are like, oh man, the hero's always supposed to be the hero. Deborah Chow in an interview mentioned that Obi-Wan Kenobi has a lot in common with Logan. When I saw that headline, I was like, oh no, please no. But it really is true. But the execution to me is a lot better. And we have this hero who does not want any parts of being a hero anymore. He's suffered great loss, great tragedy, and doesn't feel the need to go put himself in this position of getting hurt again. And I think that makes him a lot more human than just, yeah, I'm just going to do the thing, whatever. I'm a hero. That's what I do. I love that conflict because we always talk so much about the conflict, that sense of conflict within you. Obi-Wan has no conflict. He's like, heck no, I'm not doing this. I'm no hero.
I mean, yeah, because you think about it, like every like you look like a lot of movies. Like you look at like any Rambo. After he's done, wraps up the mission, it's always, I don't want to go. I'm good. Like I did everything, and then something draws him back, and then it's like another one. While you were talking, I was like, man, one of the best examples of that was like Ripley from Aliens. She's like, I'm good. Y'all made that call. I didn't separate these kids. I said I got this one thing I'm gonna do, and I'm doing that. But then he's like, okay, fine, I'll go do it.
I feel like I could do a whole episode with you about why Ripley is one of the greatest movie characters or heroes ever. Without much work. I could just basically do it off Aliens.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm going to disagree with you because I wouldn't need to be on that episode because I'd be like, yeah. It's like...
So great, though. All right, so enough of Ripley. But yeah, I just love the fact that he was very reluctant. So he comes out, he tracks her down. But Kamal Nanjiani from Eternals was playing this fake Jedi. And I'm like, this dude is playing the most dangerous, riskiest game in the galaxy. We got folks with lightsabers killing people who are legit Jedi. He's like, I'm a Jedi. And he's like running a Jedi hustle. It was so, I don't know, man. I love that whole deal because sometimes we get so focused on being serious, but Star Wars have funny moments, and he was really funny with his character. Like when his assistant came through, was like, here's him, was like, oh, that's really embarrassing. I love that part.
I think again, one of the things that the fan fiction movies lacked was the humor of Star Wars. It's like that was a big thing. It's like you can't just shoehorn the droids and try and make them the comedy. It's like you got to use some other people and actually do it. And I think that was it. Episode 1 was like when he was just, oh, I'm so serious, like, oh, just a few credits,
right? Okay. I am convinced. And I was like, dude, this is good stuff. And then when Obi-Wan actually gets up with Leia again, and then he offers to help for real this time, and he goes, there are people who do care, Obi-Wan. It's like, man, Obi-Wan is like a legendary figure who wants no part of being a legend. But people are holding him up in super high esteem, like, nah, Obi-Wan's still out there. Maybe he can turn the tide. I mean, he's no Optimus Prime, but maybe he can turn the tide.
Well, it's probably as much as people in that galaxy didn't hear about Jedi. It's like he was one of the council members, and they probably saw him actually doing stuff like, hey, he was being heroic. And then you kind of peep, wait, the Empire says they're all bad. But I really remember this story that I heard about this one guy who actually was looking out for people.
Shoot, during the Clone Wars, he was all over. So he may have been at different planets saving and rescuing people, leading the charge and being a superhero legendary Jedi. So between him and Anakin, and as far as everybody knows, Anakin's dead, but Obi-Wan's still around, and maybe Obi-Wan can help save us. Maybe. So he's like the great whale for everybody out there.
You know, I know I mess with the fan fiction movies again, but it was almost like, remember that scene in the casino where the guy turns on him for no reason? This was the exact opposite. It's like, actually, yeah, I was a hustle, but I actually wanted to. It's like, I don't need to screw everybody over. There's, this, there's grays, but my gray isn't that shady.
His gray was interesting also because he was legit helping the lady and her Force-sensitive son get out of the planet because the Inquisitors are there looking for Obi-Wan. But just the normal day-to-day of, hey, the Empire could be coming after your son. So I really like that. I like the fact that when he's fighting the bounty hunters on the rooftop, his immediate reaction isn't, it's, I'm using this blaster. I have no confidence in my lightsaber skills anymore. I don't want to draw any attention to myself. I'm just going to do a shootout like everybody else. And when you go from the Obi-Wan who used the gun, and I wrote this in my review, you can see how far away he's gotten from the Force. When he was hanging from a ledge with basically one elbow, and he's able to shoot General Grievous dead on from a huge distance, but can't shoot any of these cats on the rooftop, even though they're clearly making themselves obvious targets, because he's so way off from the Force. Like, his Force alignment is broken. He can't focus, and he's just like randomly shooting a blaster like anyone else would. So I thought that was really interesting. And then when Leia falls off the building, he's like, oh, the Force, right. I do remember the feel, the touch, how to use it and barely control it, because I feel like young Obi-Wan would have been bringing her up to the rooftop with him. Older Obi-Wan is just like, I can stop her from falling and lower her down. Yeah. You can stop people from dying. I thought you couldn't learn that from a Jedi. All right, but so that was really cool, and I love their interaction. And Leia's like, you know something, and you're not telling me. I felt her running off from him wasn't really shady. I thought that was, and I know I was reading comments, and people were like, "That's so ridiculous. Obi-Wan can't keep up with a 10-year-old." Yeah, you try to keep up with a 10-year-old running around on you, and you're in your 40s, and you have done zero cardio, but do this to meet for 10 years.
It's always, I always laugh when these people say, "Oh, that's not believable." It's like, you don't have any experience on that, do you? Because it's so easy to say, like, oh, how can you not keep up with a 5-year-old? You ever see that little commercial where the kid takes the phone and just is running all around? Same concept. But this is actually someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, you're not catching them unless they run out of energy. It's like,
good luck with that.
It's going to take a lot of work. It's not, oh, how, I mean, like when people were talking about the chase scene, like, how did Leia avoid how did the captors not be able to get her? So, like, if they didn't actually plan on, like, just putting a bag over her
exactly.
in a place she actually knows, like, you're not just jumping over trees against a kid who actually knows where the trees are.
Right.
Like,
you have to outthink a 10-year-old. You can't just chase after him blindly expecting to catch him. So I really like that, and I thought that was cool. And then she eventually was like, "You are a Jedi, okay, I'm with you," and that was nice to see. But then the end of the second episode, Reva is like, "I'm staking my claim on everything." She kills the Grand Inquisitor, and I was like, "Yep, that dude looked like a goofball anyway. Who cares about him?" Reva's intense. We're going to talk about this later, but I like the fact that Reva is an unapologetic character where they're not trying to soften Reva just to be like, well, we know people aren't going to like her, so let's try to make her likable. They're like, nah, dude, we're just going to go hard with Reva. She's going to go out there and just be mad, and the whole works. And so she is gunning for Obi-Wan. We still don't know why yet, but she's stalking him, Return of the Jedi style. Obi-Wan is trying to hide and be very still and quiet, and she's like, he's still alive. And you can see the dread in Obi-Wan continuing to mount, like, wait, what? And she goes, Anakin's still alive. He's like, no. He burned. I watched him die. And so then he doesn't have to do this big escape. He just runs because he's still like, I don't want any parts of this. And now you have messed with my emotions on a serious level, because I've been carrying this guilt for 10 years and I feel terrible and awful about it. And you're telling me he's still alive, which means I didn't even do what I was supposed to do? Ugh.
Also aggravates the fact it's like, again, when Yoda said we failed. It wasn't just like a one. I think half and half. It's like, shoot. Like, we didn't stop this.
It was a flawless fail.
Yeah, it's like this is over 2. Over.
Right. Over. So then Obi-Wan is like, oh, he's on the cargo ship with Leia trying to make sense of things, and he just goes, Anakin. And then they cut horror movie style, eyes opening in whatever this new back to tank Vader's in. It's like, oh shoot. And I'm like, oh, I know this has to be the end of the episode. And then when the credits ran, I said, I'm not mad at you guys.
Yeah.
Fortunately, go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is one of those, I'm glad for a week, because if you don't tell me to stop, I would have just kept going. I needed that. Okay, let this cliffhanger hang. And it was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that was very much, I needed that, because I was like,
yeah. Nope. Next episode, please. So we don't have to wait too long for the next episode. Came out yesterday or today as we were recording this. For me, it was late last night. But, I was kind of thinking, all right, it's 6 episodes. We're probably going to see this Obi-Wan Vader confrontation face off in episode 6.
5. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. It's just like way on the end. Nope. So I loved how they land on this planet, and they meet this friendly alien who's a Imperial sympathizer. And then they find, and he's Zach Braff's doing the voice, so it's got this friendly, good-natured, hey guys, how's it going? And
that was Seth Rogen. That makes sense. Like that's Zach. Yeah. Zach Braff.
And there's this tension because stormtroopers get on this transport, and Obi-Wan's like, I need to figure out how to get out of this now. What am I going to do? Stormtroopers bounce out. But I love the moment where he said how Leia reminded him so much of her mother, and she picked up that he actually knew Padme too. And I love the extra mention that, I don't really remember my family much. I remember my dad's hands, my mom's smell. I do remember I had a brother. And it's like, oh, that's such a cool, different layer. He really misses and wishes he had that opportunity to connect with his younger brother. But in Anakin, he had that, which now makes that loss of Anakin even more pronounced because he was able to replace something that he'd lost from his childhood. But now with Anakin dead, now he learns Anakin is actually still alive. It's so much worse.
I also liked how, kind of when he was telling his story, it was basically also kind of like a callback to Return of the Jedi when Leia is actually talking about, I remember my mother. It's basically that's how you remember your mother. It's not you actually met her. You remember just the way I remember my brother and family. I think these things. I feel the emotions, but I'm not sure.
But I think that's her echo of the Force. Real low line that she has flashbacks and memories of a mother that she never saw outside of crying as a baby for a hot second.
Nobody told you anything. There's 100% certain no one told you about Padme.
Right. Yeah, because Bail was not, let me tell you about your mom. So that was cool. And then the alien does turn on him, sets him up, but then Tala saves them. I really like that. That was great. And then they're working, trying to get on to the Jedi Underground Railroad, basically, and get to safety. Get a Quinlan Voss shout out reference there. I was like, I know that guy. That was cool. Reva had her pep talk with Vader, and oh man, hearing James Earl Jones doing the voice of Darth Vader in the year of our Lord 2022. So cool. And I felt like they did some alteration with his voice to make it sound more old school Vader.
Nah, I think it's still Rogue One. His voice is not as strong as it used to be, but it's again, he can still deliver the lines, and they're just not doing the sound mixing probably to pump up the stuff.
I don't know. It felt stronger to me than it did in Rogue One. It sounded more like Vader.
You can always say, hey, the funny thing is, with Vader's different voice, you can always just say it's a helmet. A helmet or a voice thing when he puts it in.
Yeah.
So you can always, it's Vader. It didn't seem like, I was going to say, in Rebels, but I'm like, Yeah, he did the voice in Rebels. So it's like Vader has been Darth Vader has always been
so
Darth
cool.
Vader. Except on video games.
I think they just need to have James Earl Jones just sit for like 3 days and record any kind of word combinations for Vader. So even when he's no longer with us, we can still have him just be the voice for eternity of Darth Vader. But that was great. And then we actually got to see him coming down to the planet, and he is in Rogue One I'm pissed off mode. And oh my gosh, he was so mean, just breaking necks like he's part of the Wu-Tang Clan. And it was like, dude, he is so mean. And I feel like somewhere over the years, Vader, his edge was softened a bit. But between this and Rogue One, it was, oh man, he is so... I think what happened, Palpatine became such a great villain that it was like, well, he was the one really doing it. And we kind of forgot that Vader was the fist and the real dreaded threat of the Empire that has everyone shook. And oh gosh, please don't. Like, oh boy, them at that table, the Imperial meeting table, and he's like, you want to mouth off at me? Gotcha. Here's your neck. And we just see more examples of how quick-tempered he is, how he has no patience. And he's like, I don't care, I'm a Sith. I'm going all the way in.
Yeah. Like, the stuff he wouldn't do as a Jedi, he's now like, nope, I have my mission is to find Kenobi. So I'm just breaking necks. I mean, it was like, when he dragged a person down the street, he was just like, I know you're going to care, and I'm just going to do every wicked thing possible. Like, oh, it's a family and a kid, break them out of their window. Right. It's like, oh, I'm just snap neck. Might even take the mom's neck out. I'll force choke her. It's like, oh, this dude is... I mean, he's definitely like, I am the day-to-day evil that nobody actually thinks of, like Palpatine. I'm the one who enforces Palpatine's evil wishes. And he was just ruthless. It was just like, oh man,
it was cruel.
If you thought he was soft, it was funny. I was worried. I'm like, I hope they don't make Vader kind of trying to be this redeemable dude. Oh no,
no worries about that.
This is evil.
Yeah, and then Obi-Wan's like, well, I've got to stop this from happening. So he runs off into like a little field area where there's a bunch of parts and metal works, and he's like, I gotta hold him off. And then when Obi-Wan's walking, and you know, like when you're watching a horror movie sometimes and you kind of like your body tenses up because it's like, I think this is where the jump scare is about to happen. And then the jump scare happens and you're just like, whoa, okay. I mean, I knew it was coming, but woo, you still got me. That was how it was when that red lightsaber lit up. I was like, oh shoot. It was so well done.
And the funny thing is, now we are trained. When that red lightsaber of Vader comes out, it's game. It was very much like Rogue One. Like, oh shoot, you dead. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the only reason that I knew he wasn't dead was because of Star Wars. But beyond that, I was like, oh my goodness. And Vader, I mean, he was talking so much trash. It was like, what have you become? You should have killed me. Oh man.
Like, I am what you made me.
Yeah. Like he just gut punching, like hard emotional gut punches. And in a fight, I mean, I got sized when Obi-Wan lit his lightsaber because man, this was such a dark setting. I love that with the lightsabers, with the red and the blues. When it's basically you see the people from the lighting of the lightsaber. And Obi-Wan's like, yeah, I don't want this right now. And then he still tries him down and gets ahead of him again. And this is the cruelness of Vader and how he doesn't play fair at all. I just thought when he started shifting stuff, he was going to do that Empire trick of just throwing stuff at Luke. No, he just lit stuff on fire, force grabbed Obi-Wan, and then dragged him through the fire. Like, yeah, how you think that feels? Is it good?
It was very much like it was Vader playing with his food. He was like, oh, no. I have been suffering through this for 10 years. Oh, I got you. Oh, Reva, you're going to get a promotion just for letting me do this for a couple minutes. Oh, heck yeah. Like, I'm torturing the heck out of this dude as long as possible. Like, oh, I could kill him in one stroke. But why would I do that? It's like,
man, yeah, it was like Obi-Wan had no answer on that first duel, which was so good because I think that helps inform their next, well, maybe not next, maybe they have another fight ahead of us, but it informs A New Hope one where he's not trying to flip around and do all the stuff he used to do. He's just like, I'm keeping you right in front of me. I'm keeping a strong, steady base in front of you because I need to stay close to you because you're going to cheat and do Force stuff. If I stay right up on you, yeah, he was, dude, I was like, dude, come on, man.
I got all my toys. I still have all my toys. Even though I don't have limbs, I got all the toys still. Like,
oh, man.
You got nothing, old man.
Yeah.
Like, your powers have grown weak, old man.
Yeah. It's like, you're being so mean, Darth. He didn't mean it. He was just trying to save Padme. But, yeah. So, Talus saved him. And we got another kind of Empire shot where he's just looking through the fire like, I got you next time, sucker. And, whew. Man. Just...
I'm very much enjoying that. Like that duel was like very much like, yeah, he's gonna come from that Obi-Wan to the dude who just takes out Maul in one hit. He's like, I'm old samurai Dre. I'm back, and it's like you're gonna see that him getting back to that level because we got 3 more episodes.
Yes,
so you know that's not Vader and Obi-Wan. It's gonna be like Vader's gonna probably hit the standstill like, I'll get you next time, old man. I ain't got time to keep running after you. You were gonna be a problem, so I'll just let you die off. I'm not putting this much energy in you. You, that dude? Nah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, after the first episode, I was like, yeah, 6 episodes is not enough. After this episode, I'm like, yeah, maybe 2 seasons isn't enough. Maybe we need 3 and 4. Because I feel like there's so much more. There's so many characters that he can interact with. Maybe before he dies, he interacts with Ahsoka. That would be really cool to see because they had a tight bond. And for all accounts, there's no reason to suspect that they couldn't have connected during this time period. And
I mean, only thing that probably makes it like possibly not is Anakin would sense the 2 of them together.
Okay.
That would be the only thing that kind of is like once you got 2.
Well, I feel like, well, you know, he wasn't after Ahsoka like that. He wasn't trying to hunt her down until Rebels.
But he thinks Ahsoka's dead.
Yeah.
Like his until Rebels, he thinks she's dead as much as she thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
Like until then, it's well, you know, because remember the last time he thinks about Ahsoka is he sees the lightsabers in the field and he's like, well, I'm killing everybody now. There's nobody I mess with left. And the one dude I do put me in this daggone suit, so yeah. I'm killing him as soon as I see him.
Yeah, so I can't say how much more I enjoy this show. It was really good. It made me decide I don't need to watch The Flash this week or right now because I'm just on an Obi Wan Kenobi high, and I'm okay with that. All right, but eventually at some point I'm going to have to. I started continuing with Stranger Things season 4. So far, so good on that. I really miss when Lucas, the black guy, actually had storylines where, you know, stuff was going on with him. But man, Mike is a terrible, awful friend. I'm not spoiling anything. If you've watched any season of Stranger Things, you know Mike's a crap friend. He's awful. He's like that friend that met a girl and changed everything about himself. Sorry guys, I'm good. Yes.
I'm watching season. I'm in episode 4, season 3. Yeah, he's very much like, what are you guys' name? I forgot.
He's trash. Gosh, he's just the worst. It was a very interesting call of Stranger Things writers, the Duffy brothers and directors, to make the main character such a douchebag. But they did it. So The Boys season 3 starts on Friday. So lots of stuff happening. This is like the culmination of geek summer right now. Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, The Boys. I don't know what we're going to do in the actual summertime. I guess we're going to watch Miss Marvel, which starts next week. So lots of stuff coming.
Wait, what? Why is that starting next week? Yeah.
June 8th. Yeah.
There's no one. There's no one calling me like now.
Nah, I was just checking the calendar to make sure I had the date right. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lots of stuff.
That's to stretch it out till summertime, like after the Kenobi high is gone. Because I mean, again, Disney, y'all have done an excellent job of making sure I tune in every week.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's that time now, and you and I both have a very clear, obvious dummy of the week this week. It was ridiculous because, and normally I let you go first, but I'm just going to set the stage and let you go. So even before Obi Wan Kenobi aired, Moses Ingram said that Star Wars producers, etc., kind of gave her a heads up. You're probably going to get some messages from racist people. And I'm not going to say fans because they just happen to like parts of Star Wars. And I really don't understand how you can be into Star Wars at all and then be like, oh, I don't like this black person. I don't like this Asian person. I don't like this girl because she's a girl with a lightsaber. It's like there's zero parts. I mean, there's so many things. If you wanted to be super, I'm in my bubble and I want it to just be the way it was, the way when, Star Wars has never been that. So it's just dumb to be, yeah, we can't have diversity in Star Wars. I will argue that I don't want any diversity in the Empire. That's terrible because, let them be the stand-in Nazis. But everything else, Rebellion, chock full of diversity. And I was kind of like, oh man, we got a character here and she's another Imperial officer. Why is she? And then it's like, great. It's a fake out. That works. But yeah, Moses Ingram got hit with a lot of, maybe I shouldn't say a lot of, but she got enough racist comments from people over the weekend that have zero to do with her character, but just, hey, you're black and you're a woman. I don't want you in my Star Wars. And StarWars.com posted a message saying, get yourselves over it. And Ewan McGregor, he went and was like, listen, I'm an executive producer on this show. If you're harassing her, fan of Star Wars, we don't want you, basically. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Ewan. But yeah, that's stolen your thunder somewhat. But why are they your dummies of the week?
Okay. They're 100% my dummy of the week. Because it's like, y'all don't get it. I mean, it's like y'all are some fake me out Star Wars fan, but you never understood it. And it shows on like that the fact you would be actually leaving messages for an actor who's playing a role to like, oh, I don't need all the racist crap. It's just like y'all didn't get enough of this in like Kelly Marie Tran, which I will give Star Wars credit. They learned 100%. Like, nope, we are not gonna keep you insulated. We're gonna tell you, hey, this is coming your way, and we got your back. And if we can, anything we can outward facing to get your back, we will do it. I mean, like, and then Ewan McGregor, like, his like messages, like you can see his dudes in his car, like, oh, I got this call. Let me handle this one. Like, I'll put the tweet out. I'll put it on Instagram. That's what actually made me follow him. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the kind of stuff. It's like, hey, we need to protect folks for just doing roles and against these idiots with these keyboards who have nothing better to do with their lives. And that's just all that. I mean, it's like, I don't like Star Wars. Like, a whole rebellion with black people, aliens, and good people. And yet you don't like a black character, an Asian character, or a black dude. You're an idiot. So you 100% would get my dummy of the week. Yeah. And probably for the rest until you stop wasting your time, on your keyboard in your basement. Y'all are gonna always have a honorable mention as my dummy of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it can be their office building's keyboard. It doesn't have to be their mom's basement keyboard. It can be wherever. It can be their phone or whatever. Wherever you're doing that stuff, you suck. And I was really happy to see how excited and happy Kelly Marie Tran was at Star Wars Celebration, where she was among actual Star Wars fans who were excited to see her. I thought Rose was one of the better characters in the sequel trilogy. She
had a storyline until they cut it in the third movie. That was the worst thing.
I promise I won't get into the sequel trilogy and all of its problems. But I was really happy to see that she was excited to be there and not so turned off by a percentage of people who claim to be fans but aren't, and their boldness on their tablets, computers, whatever. But yeah, man, I'm so excited about all the stuff we've got going on this next week. We're going to talk boys. We're going to talk Stranger Things. And, of course, another episode of Kenobi. Thank you as always, little brother. Thank y'all out there for watching and listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.